watching Newsx. I'm Kriti Mehta, and with me are my colleagues. We have the editor of the Sunday Guardian, Miss Choita Basu, with us. I have Udit Pratap Singh, senior editor, with us in Newsx. I also have Siddharth Frege, news editor as well. Today's discussion is going to be on the Norwegian journalist who confronted or questioned Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he was in Norway as a guest on his Five Nation tour. The question that was asked to Prime Minister Narendra Modi has raised many eyebrows in India. India has also given a rebuttal. But let's start exactly. Siddharth, why don't you give the viewers a context? What exactly had happened? What were the optics like? And why are questions being raised in the first place on Helle?
Firstly, this journalist, Helle, she's not a major journalist in Norway. She
Helle Lyng.
She has about 7,000 followers. The newspaper that she works for has about 48,000 followers on social media. So, the way she, showed herself in that press conference, or that both the ME and the Prime Minister's press conference, you can make out that she was trying to be relevant and make the most of it. The fact that a major global leader was in her presence, and she picked on something. She must have quickly googled something. What are the biggest criticisms of Prime Minister Modi, and she just had her moment there, and that is what it looks like. Her obviously question was that why don't you take questions from the media? We are the number one country in the press freedom index. Who sets the press freedom index is, I think, something that everyone knows. It's not a parameter that is highly ranked or highly deliberated by a lot of people. So yes, this person has received a very detailed rebuttal from Sibi George, who specifically answered on the fact, why should we trust India? And he gave her a detailed, educative answer on why the world needs to trust India.
Right. So, Uday, of course, the point that she was trying to raise is that Norway is the freest country in the world in press freedom. India's rank has slipped even 6 points. India's rank has continuously deteriorated year after year under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Currently, it's at 157. This rank is decided by who? Reporters Without Borders, which is an independent body, probably a group of 5, 6. Is it non-profit? Is it non-governmental? I'm not sure. But that organization, it decides. How do you see the posturing of the question to the Prime Minister of India?
No. Firstly, it wasn't even a question to Prime Minister of India because there was no press briefing.
Correct.
So, and secondly, this is an India-Norway, relationship press briefing. It is not a press briefing on this random press freedom index which no one even knows about. So, the context was completely all over the place, and there is a distinction which some Indian journalists have pointed out to, and she's acknowledged as well. In a press conference and a press briefing.
Yes.
When a joint press briefing happens, it is just meant to be statement by India, statement by Norway, and that is it.
Yeah.
It is not a press conference.
Yes.
If it was a press conference and PM Modi or the Norway PM didn't take questions, then you can raise an issue.
Yeah.
But it was not a press conference. She invited to one. And interestingly, when she tweeted this entire thing out,
India responded
and said the press conference will be at this location and this time. Please, you are cordially invited there, and we will take your questions.
Yes.
Now, what could have happened is, normally you have a press briefing with 20 reporters. You only have time sometimes for 10 of them. She could have been the 11th who we could have said, no, we don't have time for you. Thank you very much. We took 10, but you are the 11th. I'm sorry, there's no time. But they took her question. Then what happens is, apparently she left the room when the question was being answered. She later clarified that she was just going to get water and come back. She was not walking out or something. But still, at least listen to, then she starts arguing. So basically, I think what is coming out is that she had an agenda. Let's not be naive. She had an agenda to be there, which is why she started shouting. No one starts shouting like that when a PM is leaving and she's trying to run to the lift. and then they say she couldn't get the question because the lift door shut. Obviously, the lift doors will shut if the PM is going to another floor. So it became like a reality show rather than a tamasha. Maybe she will her following will double Siddharth.
Yeah,
From 7,000 it'll get to 10,000. So maybe her index will rise.
What
I don't
is
know about
the
anyone else's
population of
index.
Norway?
And
Anyway.
one final thing is that apparently after scrutiny of her writing, whatever it is so far, it has come out that she has been extremely praiseworthy of Xi Jinping in China. So
Okay.
that again is leading questions on what her agenda is and where her backing is coming from,
Okay, that's-
if she has.
Fresh information for me as well. But yes, after a pointed question, of course, Indian Ministry of External Affairs responded, said we are going to address a press conference. You are welcome to join. You ask your questions, then we'll take your questions. Then again, when CB George was taking all these questions, she wanted her question to be answered first. And she was adamant and she was almost pestering, the official to take her question first. But again, she was heard. And her question, which
In
was,
fact, another
why
senior
should we
journalist-
trust India?
Another senior journalist is questioning why that question was firstly asked to India. Why should you trust India?
Yeah,
It should have been asked to Norway.
Yes.
Why do you trust India?
So
the
that-
Norway people should have answered.
But she was,
Anyways.
like Siddharth said, given an educated answer. And she was basically educated with that answer on why India should be trusted. And I think the visuals, the interaction, they were good enough for anybody to judge where does press freedom stand. Ms. Basu, yes, please do add on.
Yeah, first of all, Kriti, do you see yourself in at the same level as Libya and Palestinian journalists, but they don't exist? Do you guys yourself see yourselves like that? So does anyone can ever take this so-called press freedom index seriously?
Yeah.
It is basically, and it is not a serious, I would say, tabulated or researched report or something, whatever they come out with. It is just a perception. 5 people sitting in Norway or sitting in London decide, no, we have read such bad reports coming from India, so India is the worst of the lot. So
We
India
are 4 people, we can also make our own index.
yeah, of course.
And
So-
why are these questions not asked to the UK, to the BBC, to Al
Accuracy,
Jazeera?
number 1. Number 2, she was not behaving like a journalist. She was behaving like a troll. When a guest has come to your country, the least you can have, first of all, there is certain protocol that has to be maintained. All journalists maintain that. All diplomatic entourage, everybody, they're very particular. And it is but natural. He was not supposed to take any question at that time. Suddenly, this woman starts hollering, Mr. Prime Minister, you don't take... we don't behave like that. That is surely... you do it when you heckle people,
Yeah.
when you are trying to insult somebody.
Yeah.
Why would you go to any conference like that with the intention to insult? And that was your intention.
Yes.
And the similar thing that happened when, okay, I know you guys, some of you may be in your 20s and all, but please, the thing is that when a 25 or a 26-year-old, you are in front of you, a very senior diplomat is sitting in front of you, CB George and all. First of all, give some respect to his age. That is upbringing, simple upbringing. You don't have to behave like an activist, and that is what
And
I
you can
felt
ask strong
about
questions.
Ask
There was an
questions
Indian journalist.
without
Yes,
insulting
there was an
him.
Indian journalist also, who's a foreign affairs editor of an Indian newspaper. She was also there, and she asked a question to Mr. George as well, that why isn't the Indian
Why
Prime Minister
insult people?
Yes, she asked a
And
tough
it's
question
not
also.
even-
Why isn't the Indian PM taking questions at these 2-3 events?
And when
And he
he-
answered it.
it's not
He
even
answered
the
it. He
age
waited for a
training.
turn and answered.
Yeah.
And when he's explaining it, no, you have to answer
Yeah,
it right
exactly.
now, right?
Take
Who
it
are you?
Exactly.
You are a
And,
nobody. And here, if you asked about I checked the population of Norway.
Yeah.
5.5 million. Which is 55 lakhs.
Yes.
That is a goddamn municipality word in municipality in India.
And it's not just the age factor here that needs to be respected, but the stature of the person who's coming to
Exactly.
your country. No matter whatever age you are, big or small, respect is both ways. But you have to look at who you are addressing. It's not just
Who disrespected her? No one did. The very fact that Mr. CB George took it upon himself to answer such
Despite her doing all that.
rude behavior and an asinine question that she asked. The very fact that he took the time out, as Uday said, that shows the respect that he is giving to the journalist. Where is the question of disrespect? There was one-sided disrespect in this case.
So what we can clearly conclude here, it was mere optics that were shown.
And no, I'll tell you what
just
happened.
an agenda of this woman that has been called out now in India.
She became big because suddenly Rahul Gandhi replied.
Oh yes, of course.
That is why the whole thing blew up.
Yes, of course, the opposition has taken.
And now she's asking,
taken it up.
Will you talk to me? Let's see whether Rahul Gandhi does that or not.
So opposition is of course quick to take that opportunity to criticize the government there again, but that is what opposition does. I think we've reached at a consensus here that what happened was just a show.
But it's just very, very sad that we have to spend so much time talking about her.
It, yes.
And less time talking about the multiple awards that the PM is getting on this tour, the multiple agreements that are being signed on this very tour.
Ideally, the focus today should have been on the Nordic Summit.
Yes.
We're getting really close to the Nordic countries, which is something that's not happened in 4 decades. That itself is a very historic
By the way, he's been awarded the highest civilian honor in Norway itself. It's called the Grand Cross of the Royal Norwegian Order of Merit. Prime Minister has already received 34 highest civilian honors from different countries in the world. I think it's a rare distinction for the Prime Minister, and it's for us as Indians, it's a moment of pride,
And would that be given to someone? Would that be given to someone who Norway doesn't trust? So I think that's an answer in itself to the question.
What really
the question should have been asked to the Norway government.
As journalists, what really upset me was that you guys are being oppressed. You Indian journalists are oppressed. That narrative really got to me.
Yeah.
You're muzzled.
Because Afghanistan ranks higher than us, Pakistan ranks higher than us.
Yes,
and the
countries like
journalists there are-
Afghanistan, Pakistan,
so free. Yes, so
they
free.
rank higher than us in the press field.
Sudan ranks higher than us. So you can imagine how. And this girl, this chit of a girl, has the audacity to say that it's a fact.
Yeah, it is.
That Norway is #1. Really? You guys do municipal level reporting.
Exactly. I mean, reporting in a country of 55 lakh people means nothing. That's what it is. It's a fragment of the population of just New Delhi, right? So, viewers, you tell us what you think about this interaction in the comments below. We'll be reading your comments and looking for your feedback. Keep watching this space on Newsx.